Okay, great. So, I've read several of your papers in soaring uh, publications about uh, special topics in soaring. I remember one a long time ago, maybe 40 years ago, you wrote an elegant paper on the wind profile that can lead to downwind cloud streets. And the impression I got when I read that paper was that you just really enjoyed writing it and you really enjoyed the mathematics and you presented that. Uh, that's what came through to me. And I get the feeling that even though you do a lot of administrative work and organization, that it really is a joy to you when you are able to write a mathematical or a technical paper. Is that, do you remember the feeling when you were writing those papers?
You have to do these things. You cannot lead a successful program without also taking care of the organization. You have to do that yourself. But you cannot lose the scientific interest in it. Otherwise it is not a good research project. You have at least to understand the problems that the project has to be solving. So I know that if you find an interesting solution, that this is a lot of fun. And I think the Cloud Street problem, that is so obvious because with a glider you don't have to circle anymore under an individual cloud. You can fly big distances straight. So it is simple, but you want to know, will they form, have they formed, or why should they form? So this may have been one of the papers that was really fun to write, although I don't remember the details. But I agree with you that this was right along the lines of how to soar in the atmosphere.
Yeah. And then you've done quite a bit of work and speculation and developing a sort of a groundwork for thermal waves too, and written some nice papers on those, which they leave a lot of work left to be done. What do you think about the possibilities and success on using thermal waves?
Well, we had actually a project here on thermal waves, we call it Thermex, using a Stemme glider. And by the way, I convinced Rick Antes to make a flight in it. And he is so tall and huge that he hardly fit in the Stemme. But we thought it was fun. And it was actually Wolf Herold who acted as the main pilot, and Colin Berry also did flights. And did you do some flights too? Yes, they were a lot of fun. I think that it is difficult to find the thermal waves. But I think we determined the condition under which they form. And it is nice that you can soar outside the cumulus cloud, not under it. And you can actually soar over it. Doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have done it.
I've done it, and it really is fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And occasionally, if you are in a contest or so, you may know how to do that and beat the competition.
I've done that too.
Have you?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's essentially an obstacle effect.
Yeah.
The clouds come from low level, low wind layers. They go up from there, they keep their momentum, and at higher levels they move slower than the environment. So the environment thinks they are mountains. So they behave like an airflow over mountains or around mountains if they can.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's often a circular obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have flown some of them here. In Phil May, I remember that. In Nebraska, we went up there. We had to be careful to go far enough away from the mountains that we don't mix up the thermal waves with mountain waves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So we had to be over flatlands.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how much they are used now.
Occasionally. Of course, I don't think they're too common.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know when you encounter one to understand what's happening.
That's right.